For any open source project, the right awareness can bring more developers, users, and partners. Successful community is the key strength of any open source project. SODA Ambassadors is a new program from SODA to get experts and evangelists across the globe to support the SODA community ecosystem. This session briefs on SODA Ambassadors program and its scope. The session will also focus on plans to collaborate with developers around the world. Let us watch on our screens now Krishna M Kumar, Principal Architect, Cloud and Senior Manager at Accenture, and the lead of the SODA Ambassadors program for the SODA Foundation. Here's Krishna on your screens now.
Welcome everyone to SODACODE. Today's presentation is SODA Ambassadors and Community Ecosystem. That's what I'm delivering right now. My name is Krishna Kumar. I am a SODA Ambassador. I also work as a cloud consultant for Accenture Seattle. We talk about today the open source community outreach. If you look at the SODA Foundation, overall, there are various parties involved, right? Of course, developers, you people are today attending the conference. And we have vendors, partners, and the users, the real end users. And along with the foundation, we have a lot of projects. So today we talk about how all these entities can collaborate together so that we'll have an ecosystem built in and which will help the SODA Foundation to grow. If you look at the foundation, and overall, there's a governing board at the top layer, right? And there are three major components. One is a technical overseas committee, and another is an end user committee. And the third part is the outreach committee. SODA Ambassadors belongs to that outreach committee. And we'll talk about what we could do to make that outreach better, right, in the future. So ambassadors, who are the ambassadors, right? We are the people who promote the SODA technology, basically data and storage projects and its technologies. We educate the community on the SODA's mission and of course, contribute to the SODA project. Contribute to the SODA project, including, of course, the developers contribute the source code, but you could contribute several other ways. You can write a blog, you can go to the social media, and you can, contribute through that. And we can get into conferences, meetups, events, the hackathons, things like that. And we can interact with the users to identify, what are the use cases they are looking for, and so on. So it's limitless. The contribution could be in any form, right? So SODA Ambassadors wants to pitch into that world where other than the software code development, we could also contribute to several other ways. Like I mentioned, you could be a blogger and any kind of an evangelist. You can write various kinds of open source forums, but actually, we are a group of volunteers, irrespective of which geography and which time zone you are very passionate or enthusiastic about open source community. And we like to, evangelize, contribute, and grow the open source ecosystem. And SODA is a great open source foundation, a project. So the idea of an ambassador is to grow the SODA community and the SODA ecosystem, actually. Okay, so there are various ways to communicate. Some of them are mentioned here, but there could be any other creative ideas to communicate. So what do we focus? We have three main areas to focus. One is the developers, the people who actually contribute the real source code projects. And the users, the people who the community actually use that code base, use that project to give a real world problem solving, right? Real world solution, right? And of course, we have vendors and partners for various reasons, for collaboration and all kind of a thing. So these are the three pillars of focus SODA ambassadors will be having. So we can look at one by one. What about developers, right? So you guys already know the project, right? You guys already know the source code, right? But the idea is to have awareness of the SODA project, right? And we will also look at, how a new developer wants to get in, how he can get into the SODA foundation or SODA project. Basically, we support, like, for example, let's say students community, they want to get into SODA project, how they can get in. So what is the entry barrier? And we could help them in various ways. We can write blogs, and we can have different kind of communication channels. One of the method is meetups, and there is a great meetup support system. I know in Bangalore it exists for the SODA Foundation. We could have a great meetup support system all across the world, especially the place where the SODA use communities. They feel that we could leverage the local community expertise, or even right now most of the meetups are happening online, so we could get the experts from any part of the world and organize a meetup to see that how the foundation or how the SODA projects, how the interaction can happen, and how developers can get into the SODA project. So also we focus on students, so that students can get in easily to become a developer in the SODA Foundation. So overall, how to help the developer community to become part of the SODA project. That's a one focus area. Of course, another major focus area is the user community. The people who really use the SODA project, right? They are the real people. Actually, they're going to use our project, right? So how do we communicate them? How do we understand the benefit of the SODA project? What are the features? What are the current features? What are the future features coming up? Or what are their future needs, so that we can identify that and prepare to develop new feature sets? This can be communicated to the developer community, right? So the developer community can come out with new feature sets which will support the new use cases, right? So the end goal is to help the user base actually how to use the SODA project very efficiently and to solve a business problem. And possible, we will have some customer testimonials to see that how this project is being used and how valuable that project or how the project solved the problem. So that kind of a customer testimonial, if you develop, this will help a future user community to look at that and see that, what benefit they have achieved by using the SODA system. So that is the main focus, the user community. And finally, of course, we have vendors and partners. I know there are different outreach programs available there, connect with vendors and partners, but ambassadors can also focus some of the areas, actually not all areas, some of the areas of connecting vendors and partners, so that it could be regional vendors or global vendors actually, but to see that what kind of a collaboration can be happening, so that the ecosystem can develop further. So if you focus these three, then what are the ways we could do? I already mentioned some of these things, right? We can have conferences, meetups, and so on. So currently also there is a collaboration happening in various ways. Some of them mentioned here, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, but it's not limited to these items shown in this particular slide. What we are thinking as an ambassador is that any open source avenue or any social media avenue, we could expand to have SODA ecosystem develop further. That will be the area we'll be looking for. Some of them are mentioned here, actually. Okay. Now I will talk about some of the SODA projects we are having currently. This is basically for education purpose only, and this information I am sure you might have already through various channels and SODA documentation, especially in the SODA code, different kind of discussions happening on each of these projects. But if somebody's, let's say, seeing this SODA ambassador program, they're wondering that what are the projects and what is the echo project available. So this basically gives a framework actually. So just briefly to mention, SODA framework has various projects, and one of them is a Terra. It's a STS controller for connecting storage to platforms like Kubernetes, OpenStack, and things like that. And another project is a Strato. It's basically hybrid and multi-cloud connection by using the S3 compatible interfaces. And the third one is a Delphin, which provide a unified view of storage performances for the different kind of storage infrastructure. And Cafu, a project for streamlined data protection for Kubernetes, and a new one proposed virtual data lake project, which is a Como. So some of the projects are mentioned here. I'm just reading through whatever is written in the slide, not explaining anything in details. I'm sure there are other talks going on with the different time slots, right? And along with these SODA projects, we have a SODA Echo project. 10 of them are mentioned. In fact, I have worked in one of the projects called CubeFS, so I know what that project is about. It's basically an edge computing. So there are other projects, if you look at that, like Linstore, Ye, Tavos, even I'm very familiar with OpenEVS as well, and Cortex, CubeFS. These are the additional ecosystem projects. So not only the framework has a project, like we mentioned all of them, right? 5 of them. There are additional projects as part of the ecosystem. So you put together all, it's a great set of tools and technologies handling the data and storage. And more of them will be evolving in the future. So we have a great product line available at this point to deal with the various kind of storage and data domain. And there is additional details here on the SODA releases. Again, I'm not going deep down on that. This SODA ODF Madagascar is announced now in May 2022. It has heterogeneous performance monitoring, it's a container data protection for Kubernetes, and several other benefits actually. So these details you can get it through. So being an ambassador, we should be aware of what is happening in the SODA Foundation and what are the SODA projects are available in the market, so that we'll be able to tell the developer community or user community, yeah, there is something available to handle your particular use cases. So you may not need to know each and every project deep down, at least overview of the projects. If you know, that itself will help to guide the community where to look for, whom to contact, and how to handle the particular use cases. So what do we do? SODA ambassador, right? So we can do so many things, right? So I thought by discussing the SODA Foundation members for the next 1 year or so, few things we can identify to be very specific. One of them is growing a developer ecosystem, basically focusing on the developer community and especially the student communities from the universities for how they can get into the SODA developer aspect and how to help them. So that's one of the area. Another area is the use cases, right? It's a very important, right? I mean, not only having a project there, we should be having a use cases, how to use it. So what is identified is we'll have at least 2 use cases identified for open source, 2 for industry, and 2 for partner. Not necessarily can be only 2, but at least minimum we identify these 6 use cases, and we'll have a customer testimonials developed for these particular use cases. It would be a great value add. Anybody could come and see that, okay, these are the specific use cases already in place and customers are used, how they are used, what benefit, what value add they have received, right? I mean, that's what we're trying to achieve by using these customer testimonials. And the third item, it is really an aspirational thing, and we like to really get into place this one, but we definitely need a lot more SODA ambassadors to get this in place. It is a SODA sandbox. So the idea is to have a area for a play. Any new developers, any new users can come, and they don't have to set up anything. They don't know anything. They just log in and they will see everything there already in place, and they can get acquainted with how quickly things can work and what benefit the SODA ecosystem brings. And eventually, we would like to see this as a reference architecture. We try to put the best practices, best tools and best technologies to see this is a base, so somebody can look at this and build from this base. That's basically a great reference architecture. That's what is envisioned. Hopefully we'll be able to get there in another 1.5 years window. All of these things, especially the sandbox SODA, people can come and play around. That's the idea. So what do you do? So if you want to become a SODA ambassador, right? We welcome you to become a SODA ambassador. So there is a link provided here. Please go apply for the SODA ambassador program. There are some criteria. I can tell you one criteria is enthusiasm for open source. That's a criteria we are looking for. And you could be engaged with any open source community. If you are engaged with SODA already, that'd be really great. But if you are any other kind of a data and storage community, you're still welcome. And we are looking for a passionate open source people who can come on board and make the SODA ecosystem thrive. So you can apply any kind of involvement. You already having a SODA foundation, please go and apply. We will look into it. But even if you don't have any engagement, we can still work together to see that how we can put together a nice ambassador portfolio for you. Okay. So what happened if you become ambassador benefit? Of course, you are coming as an ambassador because you are really enthusiastic about the open source ecosystem, and you are really enthusiastic about the storage data technology, enthusiastic about the community, right? And contributing to the world. All those things are there, right? That's a primary thing. Other than that, we also have some additional benefits. Some of them are mentioned here. We'll give $150 per month for setting up meetup expenses. We'll give you SODA ambassador swag, jacket, digital badge. You can brag about it. You can show. We'll give free ticket to SODACON. I think this one is happening in December this year, I believe. And also you could become speakers in not only SODA meetups, in some other meetups also. We'll try to help you be a speaker in those kind of meetups. SODA also collaborate with several other open source communities, for example, CNCF community or Apache community or Docker community and so on. So not only the speaking opportunities here, you will be if you are speaking in other community events, you can definitely bring up SODA and SODA evangelization there too. And of course, there is a blogging opportunity, social media opportunities, and so on. So in case if you are becoming a SODA ambassador, you think some other benefit can also be added, we are very open and you could suggest that as well. So that is all in the quick introduction for this ambassador program. We welcome you to the ambassador program. For being open source enthusiast, you may be involved with several other communities at this point, but to enhance the visibility of the SODA community, we welcome you to join and please apply. I know this is a recorded presentation, and any question you have, my friends are there right now. They'll be playing this video and they'll be taking the questions, and hopefully most of the questions they'll be able to answer. And in case any questions is open left, it's not answered, that will be taking up answer later. Okay. But thank you very much for listening and welcome to the SODA Ambassador Program. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Krishna, for the insights into the SODA Ambassadors Program. We look forward to many such ambassadors joining us and spreading the news and spreading knowledge about the SODA Foundation. It is, in fact, one of the latest programs started by the SODA Foundation, and we are actively looking out for ambassadors to join us in this endeavor. So thank you once again. With that, we will now move on to the next session, and that is going to be the last session of the day. we will be heading out to the next one. Thank you so much once again. See you in the next one.